My grandmother said often, "Sister, if you don't like a thing, change it. If you find you can't change it, change the way you think about it."
Truly inspirational words from Dr. Maya Angelou. We're privileged to have her as part of the show tonight. John, how do I do that big 180? How do I take change from up here to a fast 180, really change my life?
If we want to do it and do it scientifically, we've got to understand that there's two parts of the brain that we're always dealing with. One is the conscious brain, which is where we choose to make the change. But in order for change to stick and to last, we actually have to change the subconscious mind, and that means that we have to rewire the brain. 96 to 98% of all of our thought patterns and behaviors are subconscious. So we think that just by making a decision we change, but we don't.
We're going to bring the good doctor in a second to talk about the brain rewiring, because I'm getting frightened as it is. We also talk about there's a grand fallacy. We're talking about this whole way of thinking.
Absolutely. Let me share a riddle with you. Let's say there are 6 frogs sitting on a lily pad, and one makes a decision to jump off. How many are left?
It depends whether the other ones follow him or not, but I'm going to guess 5.
No, there's still 6, because making a decision to change...
Dumb host, good riddle.
Making a decision to change doesn't constitute taking the action to change.
That's fascinating.
And so we have to really understand the latest research is so fascinating about the nature of change, about the nature of how we get ourselves to take action. We wrote about it in our book, The Answer, and it is one of the most highly read chapters that people are actually thrilled about.
So is there an actual action plan for change?
There is. The first thing you've got to do is something we call neural reconditioning. And what you've got to do is set up brand new vision for your life or your business. Then you've got to create some new declarations or affirmations. And if you add emotion to declarations and affirmations, add visualization techniques to that, and add some meditation to that as well, we start a process called neural reconditioning, which means we're actually rewiring our brain to a brand new reality.
All right. I'm getting a little scared here. Dr. Kimberly Williams, you're a neuropsychologist. What's the term again?
Neural reconditioning.
Neural reconditioning. Does this work? What is it?
Exactly. What he's speaking of, neural reconditioning, is like neurogenesis. Biology over the last 10 years has really been excited about the fact that adults can change their neural processes. We can pass over the genetic code that we thought we were dealt and learn new information, new materials, and new strategies to change our life.
Give me for instance of this process and how it works.
Oh, for instance, think about the hippocampus. That is the memory center of the brain. So what we can do is we can build and grow new neural cells beyond what we thought we could have and enhance our short-term memory. Enhancing short-term memory is fantastic because what that can do is open up our mind to pass through things we thought we couldn't do or thought we couldn't achieve and prepare our minds for taking on new information, new complex information.
But let's go through an exercise. Let's say I've been conditioned and I think that the reason I can't leave my current job is there's too much risk or it's too competitive out there. There are too many competitors and I may fail. Okay, what's the brainwave turnaround that I do there?
Well, what's happening is your brain is getting stuck. It's getting to the point where, you know what, I can't pass this threshold of frustration or I can't pass this threshold of stress. This is an uncomfortable thought. So in retraining neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, what you're doing is you're pushing your neurons past a comfortable threshold and taking on new attributes and really using your motivating system and your arousal system to forge a new pathway for the neurons to go. It's very easy after that point.
And you actually think this does turn into behavior?
This absolutely does turn into behavior. There's a lot of psychological science behind it.
Mel, you have a very different take on rewiring your brain.
Well, listen, if you have the time for 20 sessions of this, you should absolutely do it because it works. However, if you're running down the street and you're trying to lose weight and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, my legs hurt, you don't have time for rewiring. So what I do is I think about the fact that the brain right now, all right, let me just put it to you this way, short and sweet. If you're in your head, Donnie, you're behind enemy lines. And so your brain is wired to spit out sentences. And almost all the sentences that it spits out are highly negative. If we were to put a speaker on any one of our heads and broadcast what was going out of our brains, we would be committed,
by nature,
arrested.
most human nature, most of us, it's the worst side of things.
So here's the newsflash. It's not God talking. It's not Bob Costas calling you as you're running down the street. It is your brain farting. I mean, basically,
the old brain fart.
Yes, exactly.
And so what do you do about this?
Ignore it. Why would you listen to that?
Don't you also just say shut up to your brain?
Shut up.
Just shut up, brain.
Yeah, Mel Robbins is going for a run. You up there, you can complain all you want because I'm going.
There's a little more to it than that, because every time you have a negative thought, you're actually releasing a negative chemical into the bloodstream, and then you feel what you're thinking about, and you think what you feel, and you've got a self-fulfilling doom loop. So it's easy to say next, okay, but what's causing our thought patterns and behaviors are our beliefs and the way we are wired.
Doctor, that negative chemical, what is that?
What she's talking about, that you've got lots of automatic thoughts. Automaticity is what you're talking about. But once you take it on that you're going to tolerate that frustration and be okay with it, then it eases the passageway for you to take on more positive thoughts, and those become automatic.
I totally agree with you. You know, the only thing is, so when I was interviewing Donald Trump, he was saying, you got to think about yourself as a winner. You got to wake up every day and look in the mirror and say, you know, I'm a winner. And I said, Donald, do you do that? And he's like, well, no. So you guys are totally right, but the truth is that it's hard to change, and a lot of people don't have the time to do this, and so you also have to develop the mechanism to shut your brain up.
All right, guys, it sounds, I won't say easy, but kind of easy. Is it that easy? Let's take a look.
Scott Taylor was passionate about his business, but he wasn't turning his passion into profits. That's when he decided to learn the tools for change. He immersed himself in neural reconditioning and started thinking in a new way.
All right, here's a man who did it. You asked yourself the big idea question, why make someone else rich? And you turned it around.
I did, and I like making other people rich. I just wanted to get a piece of it too. So I got together with John Assaraf and Murray Smith. I learned this process. I started to do the vision boards. I did the meditations. I did everything on what I wanted, and I wanted partners. I wanted to own more of what I was doing.
Explain to me the process, and you talk about the word vision, which is a good segue into it. Talk to me about the reconditioning, and talk to me about setting up your vision for change.
Okay. When I got clear on what I really wanted, the science taught me, and the science helped me more than anything, when I understood that there's something called a reticular activation system. And if you buy a Volkswagen Bug, you'll see them all over the place. That's kind of how it worked. So you can program that into your reality. You can create your future. So I started seeing myself, and I put the vision boards up, and I started to do these affirmations connected to a lot of emotion, and it really did work for me. Very quickly, things started to happen.
John, talk to me about the vision thing.
Well, there's a couple things that we need to understand about the brain, again. And when we have a clear picture of what exactly it is that we want, we actually are giving our brain an instruction to find in the physical world a match for what we have inside our mind. That's why success always starts from the inside first. Our brain's always looking in the physical world for matches to what we've got programmed in the brain. And so if we have a fuzzy picture, we're not going to give our brain the instructions we need to help us. And we've got a phenomenal tool that we're just learning about. What we've learned about the brain just in the last 6-7 years is absolutely spectacular. And every one of us is a genius, and we need to learn how to use the tool better.
Scott, what does it feel like now? You've made the change. You're living your dream. What does it feel like every day?
Well, I have more dreams, so you up level. Keep going.
I love it. Cordelia in California, we're going to let you dream. We're helping you change.
Every time I want to make a change, I convince myself that there are other things more pressing or other things come up. How do I tell when it's the right time?
Mel, is there a right time?
No, the time is now for every single one of you watching this that's thinking, oh, gosh, when?
Doctor, is there any brain thing other than say now, or shut up brain, it's not now I can do?
You need to make the commitment, and you need to be ready to tolerate the frustration and that little bit of dissonance or stress that's going to come towards you. It's going to happen. Be prepared for it and be ready.
All right, let's get right to the playbook plays for doing that 180 change. First off, give your goal a specific description, color, visualize it in front of you. Have change mentors, and sometimes you got to tell your brain to shut up. We'll be right back. A lot more to do tonight. All right, let's get to the final playbook plays on the courage to change now. Rich, what's the big play?
It's easy. A mountain is climbed one step at a time. You've heard it before. Then the view from the top is amazing. Just look down, take the steps, and before you know it, you'll be looking out.
John, give me a big final play.
Big final play is habits are thousands of times more powerful than desires. And the last frontier is not the oceans or the skies, it's the brain. Find out more about how your brain works, utilize it better, and you'll achieve success beyond your wildest dreams.
Mel, give me the playbook for change.
Yes, new idea here. If you want to make a major change, start with exercising every day. 2 reasons. Number 1, You will start your day by controlling something. 20 minutes walk will make you feel like you're in control of the day. Secondly, all the research out of the Harvard Medical School from Dr. Rady proves that when you exercise, it works with the plasticity of your brain to make you faster at processing, better to remember things, and just clearer all around. You want to change? You get your rear end out the door and exercise.
Love it. Murray, give me the change agent.
For me, it starts with a question. And the question is, how are you going to spend the rest of your life? The answer is you can find in our new book, The Answer.
Dr. Williams, and whatever you got to promote, do it right here. Give me the final playbook.
At NYU, every day we help people push past their frustration, push past their stress, and really, really make a change and tolerate that frustration to get the life goals that they want.
All right, I'm going to give the great Maya Angelou the final word in our playbook.
Money should never be the goal. It's a device, that's all, to achieve success. That is a success of spirit, success of belonging wherever you sit down, wherever you stand, to belong there. I encourage people to develop courage. It is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You can't be consistently fair or kind or generous or merciful or just or loving without courage.
Amen to courage. I want to thank our experts tonight. You can read an excerpt of John and Murray's book, The Answer, on our website. Stick around. Mad Money is next with my good buddy Jim Cramer. And coming up midnight, the series premiere of The Business of Innovation with Maria Bartiromo. This week, it's all about people, how to lead, manage, and energize them to innovate in the new global workforce.